Apple, they had a diversity program, like everybody did, and it was attacked, like everybody's was. In the last few months, DEI programs have been under assault. Diversity programs, equity programs, inclusion were all under assault. Well, Apple's diversity program just survived a major attack, but it ain't over. The pressure is still building. See, earlier today, Apple shareholders voted down a proposal to scrap the company's DEI program after a conservative think tank claimed that it created financial and legal risks. They argued that DEI is divisive and that Trump's executive order against it makes companies more vulnerable. Now, to his credit, Apple CEO Tim Cook clapped back. He said that Apple never had quotas and that diversity makes the company stronger, but he did admit that legal challenges might force some changes. Other big companies, Walmart, Google, McDonald's, they've been scaling back their DEI efforts under political pressure. But I am so glad to see Apple push back. Now, for two reasons. First, Apple didn't just push back on the grounds that, hey, we got programs and we like them, or hey, we're not going to kowtow to Trump's executive orders. They did it because they defended the idea that diversity is an institutional benefit, it's an institutional asset, that companies are better when they are diverse. This is where we have to begin. DEI is not a hookup. DEI is not a favor to Black and brown people or poor people or queer people or women or whatever. DEI is not the hookup for the vulnerable. DEI is a way of making companies, or making institutions more broadly, making institutions more efficient, more effective, more powerful, more dynamic, more creative, more inclusive, more fair, more just. When companies are more diverse, and I'm not just talking about the black-white racial paradigm, not just when you add more Black and brown people to a company. I'm talking about when you add more people from different parts of the country, or people of different religious backgrounds, people who went to different kinds of schools. When you add diversity to an institution, the buy-in is different. The problem solving is different. The access to solutions is different. It's a benefit to everybody to diversify the workforce. Companies never really believed in that. Companies weren't, even when they were diversifying, they weren't doing it because they believed in that shit. They were doing it because it was good for business. After the tragic murder of George Floyd and the country had a racial reckoning, suddenly everybody was on board. It was cool. It was popular to say you were down with DEI. So everybody was. Now, we've seen, based on the data, that even the companies that say they were down with DEI didn't actually invest in DEI. They didn't pay the bills for DEI. They didn't pony up. They didn't do what they said they were going to do, but they took advantage of the good press. And now, under Trump, where there's less good press, where DEI is under assault, companies going back to their instinct, which is the bottom line, which is the status quo, which is to invest in nothing but profit-making strategies. And again, I get it. The companies, their job is to maximize shareholder wealth. I get that. But that's why it's important to get them to understand that diversifying the workforce is not an enemy to effective management of the company. It's in line with it. Apple gets that. Tim Cook said, look, it's not about quotas. We don't need X number of Black people or X number of women. We have diversity initiatives because they make us better. Now, Walmart, Google, and McDonald's stepped away from that because they want certain kinds of money, certain kinds of support, certain kinds of political backing, certain parts of America to continue to support them. They understood it was good for business to step away. Apple has a different vibe. They got a different brand, but they also have a different political commitment. I'm not romanticizing Apple as a corporation, but I am saying they did the right thing here. And that's all I can ask in this case, is for them to do the right thing here. So shout out to Apple for that. I'm grateful to be able to see that, to be able to track that. I'm excited that we see some companies standing up just a little bit and having the decency to protect, to do what they said they were going to do, but also to do the right thing. Make no mistake, Apple's powerful, but the Trump administration and others are going to come after them. They are going to push them to get rid of their diversity initiatives. So expect this battle not to be over anytime soon.